Let's see. Is everything working? Everything's working? Yeah. Hey, welcome back. Always like on time and everything like that. The only thing I don't have here is a face cam, but I'm here. And I don't know if you can hear me, but yeah, a little new setup that I usually have in my other little spot that I'm usually at. Hello. You can hear me, right? Oh. Hello. Are you able to hear me? Okay, cool. I didn't know if it was good or I need to raise it, but if you can hear me, awesome stuff then. But yeah, I'm just kind of working on some other things at the moment. Kind of getting into kind of the channel name, a bunch of different dental things. And right now it's going to be about making vampire teeth for someone that I know that's asking for them. So a little different, but not too far off. This won't take me forever, but it'll be something that I do in the meantime. That should be good. All right. So let's go and do. I already got separator on this. I already did that earlier. We poured these up. I actually have two models. Yeah, I actually have two models of these. So I have a second set here in case something was to go wrong. I know. Hey, if you need to make a, if you need to have your teeth on this bench for me to work on or to make you something, you just let me know. We'll get something worked out. But we're gonna get these teeth set for vampire teeth. I'm gonna make some fake teeth. At the moment, we have that type of bite, a class 1 occlusion with a little bit of overbite, and we're going to have vampire fangs or vampire teeth coming out from tooth number 6 and from tooth number 11, and I might make it where it's connected with some stainless steel wire that we usually use for ortho reasons. So I'm going to go and start by planning out this upper model that I have, put this off to the side, and we're going to do some wire bending with this because this is quite flexible. Try to get this to do what I want to do with some wire bending pliers. Some of that, some of these, and where's my favorite ones? My tweeds. There they are. I think that should be all I need. All right. Cool. I feel like I should be a little bit further away. I guess that's what I get for having one of these cameras that doesn't have a wide angle lens, so I can actually capture more of my work table. But I know if I go further back, you're gonna see like the total mess on the outside of the regions of this bordered of my border. So don't want that to kind of show up. Let's go and do something like that. Let's go and plan the action that I want for my set. Probably about that large, and then we'll start messing with things as we go. So cool. Oh yeah, no problem. So in this case, I want to make a set of vampire fangs. Now, I have a couple of options of doing this. I can go with some normal some normal tooth acrylic mixed with some monomer that I have in some of these bottles that are right here. And I can do a salt and pepper technique where I just apply a little bit of liquid, a little bit of powder, and just keep doing that over and over again until I sprinkle it on enough layers that I actually get bulky vampire teeth. And I can shape them to roughly what I want to at the moment, or at that point, and then I'm going to put them in a pressure pot to go and heat cure them a little bit faster to make them a little bit more firmer and strong. Now, if I do that and I do it individually, where it is specifically you put one fang on the right side, or one fang on over, you put one fang on the right side, one fang on the left side, then they could be independent and they could potentially fall off. So what I want to do in this case is I want to use a little bit of ortho wire, not arch wire that we use for like braces, but something that we use for Holley retainers. Pretty much the retainers after you're done with braces that they make you use to keep your teeth in the normal alignment. And I'm going to use this and shape it and bend it so that I can fit them into, make them into an appliance. So pretty much you could just go and take it in and out and wear them for special occasions, you know, like Halloween, going on like first, second, third dates, you're just working, you want to freak out little kids, anything along that line. So you'll kind of see it as I go. But the first thing I started with after I took the impression this morning, I poured these up, and now I already put separator on there. So you can see in some of these angles that this is a blue stone model. This is a blue tinted stone model, but there's a couple areas I'm not sure if it'll focus on if I go a little bit closer that are purple. And the purple on there is from my separator, and I put separator on there, and that makes it so that whatever I put on here, whether it be wax or whether it be tooth acrylic, that it doesn't stick super easy. Now, when you're making them, the models can break eventually when I'm trying to pull the appliance off. That's why you always want to have a separate set or a master model. And I have another set of model teeth right here that are the same exact way. I poured it up twice. Now you always want to keep one that's going to be your master, one that's going to be your work-on model, so that in case anything happens to it, you can always go back. I also have the ability to duplicate this model with some hydrocolloid material, essentially like this jelly that I can heat up and cool down, and then I can pour up another one. So it's important to have a master no matter what, which this one is going to be my work-on model, this is going to be my master. And so with this, we are going to start by bending wire, and I'm going to start making an appliance that has this wire that's specifically going to be on what's called the lingual side or the tongue side of this arch here, and so that it's not visible when I actually make the whole appliance, and the person can just kind of slip it on and off as they please. And so with that, I'm going to go and start by bending a lot of my stuff and kind of pre-forming the bend of this. Right now it's way too large, it sticks out. So I'm going to go and kind of influence it to be within the lingual or the tongue side of the teeth. And so with that, I can probably go and zoom in a little bit, get into frame, and you all can kind of see what I'm going at here with bending. I'm going to kind of influence it, kind of rock and roll it a little bit, and I'm going to go slowly kind of pinch it into itself. And as I continuously do that, and I do it equally through all sides, I should start getting a form that I can put on the lingual or the tongue side of these teeth. It doesn't have to be long. It's going to be from K9 to K9, from 6 to 11. So I just have extra material here so that I can make loops or make patterns in it if I need to. And so that's what I'm going to be doing here in just a moment. So right about there is where I'm going to want it to be, and I know right about here I'm going to use one of my other pliers, my three prongs, to help me get this bend to continue to go. So I can get this little bit of pressure, and it's going to help me get that bend going. So right about there. A lot of times you'll want some type of marking pen to go and find a spot where you're going to make some bends. So right now I'm going to go to right about there. I'll make a bend, make a mark right here. And I'll start working on one side. When I'm done with one side, I'll go to the other and continue on from there. And so from here, there, so, and I'm gonna have to kind of pick this up as I move so I can get a good visual of it. Okay, so right about that bend, that's right here. I'm gonna take my other pliers, get a nice bend, or get a nice bite, and just give it a little bit of influence. And then I go bring it back to my model. And I'm going to give that a little bit more influence, right about here. And I have to be pretty low on this as I go so that this doesn't get bitten on by the mandibular teeth, or what's called the lower. That's there. Take that, put that off to the side. So I can still be within frame. So with those pliers, you don't break the wire, but just put it into the size of the jaw. Yeah, essentially, because we have, like as an example, this one, if I can get it into frame, that has one jaw on the other, a jaw on one piece, and then the other one right there. That if I have a piece just like this is kind of a spare piece that I've already cut off here, if it gets in frame. If I was to put that right into this three-pronged jaw, I can go and just put pressure, and it'll just put a bend. Just like so. And so now I just have a V, and if it gets into frame. Still trying to get used to doing the top-down video camera, but now I got a V right there. And with that V, I can go and do other things. Say I want to go do a little loop here, I can go and take this and just bend it from here. Or I can go and bend it outwards, and now I got this little little checklist. Let's see, where's my focus spot? Right about there. So, and I can take this other plier that is just a square side next to a cone side when it comes to this, and with this one I have to use more actual muscle to actually bend these, because it's just holding it in place, and I can either bite it from more of the, oh, let me go and see this because I can focus if I have a place to tap. Let's see, follow that thing. See if I can get to focus. Yeah, if I bite down on this a little bit more, up here there's a little notch that guides into, and if I go and open the jaws and I bite it lower, it can sit into this portion, and I have to really put pressure with my fingers to actually complete the bend. But that's a little bit nicer sometimes, because now that I have this nice little heartbeat like V, let's see if it'll focus, right there, focus on my finger, good. Now that I have this heart shape like V, I can go and do other things such as creating loops. I can go and take my 3 prongs, and I can go and, if I'm clever enough, bite down at a certain spot and just go and make these cute little loops. So they're fun as you kind of go and play around with it a little bit more. Until we got something like that. Yeah, exactly, because now you are bending it and you're introducing tensile strength to it. You want to make your bends more just, you don't want to go and bend back and forth. Yeah, you don't want to introduce, what's it called, flexural, not flexural. You don't want to mess with the, I'm forgetting it. But yeah, just don't bend it back and forth. For some reason I'm out of focus like completely here. Just focus on the model, there we go. But yeah, it's just make a bend once and then hope you got that right. So it's a lot of practice and practice. Is this a service you can provide in private practice, or is it just for fun? Good question. Sorry I didn't answer you earlier on that. This is something that you can definitely, this is something that's called a duty of the dental lab. So a lot of times they are going to provide this to private practices or clinics or chains or whatever it is, because for the fact that your dentist specifically as a law has to write out a prescription or an RX to the dental lab to make something for you. So a lot of times, like when I'm doing these like examples and stuff, you can if you learn how to and you got the stuff and you make it for yourself only, and you're not doing it for profit or anything like that, I mean, there's really not too much of a problem there. You're not trying to gain something and go around the system and such like that. But a lot of times for like decorative things or props or everything like that, where the appliance that you're making cannot or will not affect the person's oral cavity or their mouth or shifting of their teeth, then a lot of times, I mean, it's considered a prop. So it's a little bit different in that case. But if the purpose of the appliance itself is to alter or change the dentition or the order of the teeth, that's where you get into dicier places. And so it's always a playing the legal game. Always making sure that you're in the right. No one's coming after you or anything like that. So that's where I'm just having kind of some fun with this, and I'll make some vampire teeth for myself. I've already done it in the past, but I didn't go and do one where I have it attached to a wireframe appliance. And so that's what we're going to try to get going today with this. Let me see if I can get that. I want to bend this where I made that little orange piece earlier. So right about there, I'm gonna go and, I'm a dental hygiene student and we learned about making study models in dental materials. I would love to make some myself. Absolutely. And I'd like to say I've taught dental assistants, and so you learning about taking impressions with alginates, pouring up models in plaster or in stone, model trimming, making sure that the bubbles are all gone, and everything. I know exactly what you're going through. So I know exactly what you're going through on the dental assisting side. You are just even cooler, and you are going more into the hygiene side of knowing about periodontal stuff, knowing about scaling, learning about all the different anesthetizing abilities, such as learning your blocks, your infiltrations, and everything like that. Super cool for you. You are going to have some fun. But definitely the dental lab side of it and everything like that is awesome, is a joy. But I'm glad to have someone that knows dental or is into dental things, and you are here with us today. So super cool. Yeah, you pretty much could, if you just get one of your fellow students, take an impression and everything, pour it up, do all that. I love this aspect of dentistry. Oh yeah, definitely. And this is something where I've been in this system for many years. I've been doing dental assisting for like 14 years or something now, and so I never stopped wanting to learn, and it's brought me to a lot of these pieces here, which is super cool. I need this thing to sit up a little bit. What can I do? Because I want to keep on visually seeing it. And and I have a lot of different instruments I'm going to start propping up my cases on right here. All right. So let's go ahead and play around with this a little bit. But yeah, you're in a good system. You're going to be in a well-paid profession, doing hygiene and such and everything like that. Good for you. I considered going into hygiene myself at one point, and I think mainly there's always time. There's always time to be able to continue school and everything like that. So there's never a bad time at all. Let's see, I want to go and make these into loops. Now that I have that, I can go and bend an eyelet into here. I don't need these anymore. I can keep this here. Got my wax pot off. Right about there. I need a paper towel. What? I hope your schooling's going well, and hope the concepts are coming to you pretty easy. If you have any questions about dentistry at all, depending on where you are and everything like that, you can always ask it. Love being able to help out fellow dental professionals if they got any questions. Even though I know that your teachers, your instructors and everything are pretty good and everything like that, it's sometimes nice to have a another view at it. There we go. Okay, so I'm gonna go and where is my, here it is. Do you have any tips for doing FMX quickly, especially when a patient has a mandibulatory? Good question. You still using, are they teaching you how to do it with a film, with the traditional film, or are they teaching you how to do it with a sensor? Because of course, as you probably know, the film is going to be much easier to do because of how thin it is versus the digital sensor. But absolutely, I just actually got done recently going through x-rays and everything like that and getting through a bunch of patients. So keep on talking. I have a little paper right here. I could probably draw it out. I have to do for both phosphor plates and digital. Phosphor plates are super nice, especially since you have the ability of especially since you have the ability to have the flexural, have the thinness of film, but being able to process it and it come out as digital, super nice and everything like that. A lot of times, like what your instructors are going to say when it comes to this is, as you go and have your arch and everything, and you have tori coming out from both sides depending on how large it is and such, or whatever. And then of course we have our teeth. Squares are molars, premolars, triangles are canines, and laterals, incisors, and everything. Not drawn it scale for scale, but pretty much you get the gist of it and everything. Always, a lot of times, if you have phosphor plates and everything like that, bring it to the dead center. If you can have that phosphor plate lining more in the center where the tongue is, just have the tongue moved out of the way, you're in the game. Now, the main thing that comes to it also is, are you doing, well, I'm pretty sure they're going to have you do both. Are you, one, doing XCP ring style, or are you doing snap? And also, which one do you like? Do you like snap array or bisecting technique, or do you like XCP parallel technique? Or what are they forcing you to do? Which probably will be both at one point. They make you use XCP, like at the moment they're making you use XCP, and they're like, oh, in the future you're going to be using snap. But I like this freestyle. Freestyle, pretty much use whatever you want to at that point. It's awesome. XCP is perfect. It's lovely because you have parallel. As much the angle that your actual sensor and your tooth and your x-ray tube all lines up, so everything's nice and perfect. But it sucks. It's kind of the worst things to use. It's really uncomfortable for a patient, especially if they have tori, because of how bulky. It's the sensor or the phosphor plate, it's the bulkiness of the XCP adding on top of it, and then it's the bar, and then it's the ring. All those things, even though it seems insignificant, makes it tough for these. Snap array, or the bisecting technique where you're using angles and such, is a much kinder version when it comes to this, because you have that ability to tilt and then just come from the opposing angle so that everything matches up. And like you're mentioning here, doing FMXs quickly. What is considered quickly to their standards? Because a lot of times when I'm having my students go out there, I want them to at least be somewhere within the 15-minute range, and that they always feel like they're improving by the time that they leave the institution. 15 minutes is decent, especially when it's coming to getting from beginning to end. 20 minutes for FMX this semester, not too bad, respectable. You will be continuing going on, you will be getting better as you keep on practicing. And it sucks because it doesn't seem like you are able to practice, because you're probably just doing a radiation term or radiation semester, or whatever you guys call it, and then you probably will hit that, not come back to it for a while, or maybe they'll weave in FMXs and bite wings in between your patients that you have to bring in. But 20 minutes, definitely. Just don't think don't feel like you need to go and verse all the other students, or that you have to beat the instructor's times and everything like that. When I would teach my students and everything, I would go and we would start with getting them used to bite wings, getting used to FMXs with the XCP kit and everything. And after they learn that, right before we start teaching them bisecting or the snap array, the little alligator clip thing, I would show them how fast I'm able to do it with the style that I like and everything, like you're saying, freestyle. And without like paying attention to things. And of course I'm using the Typodons the Dexter heads with the little pole for the top of the head to make them open and close. I can crack one out in about 6 minutes or so. I've gotten it down to 550, but I think a respectable time would be about 7 minutes for a full FMX with errors. Of course, I might need to go back and retake some of the x-rays. I'm kind of just showing the students, hey, I'm just focusing on my shot. I'm not looking back at the screen. It's not including processing or anything like that. About 7 minutes. I've also been doing this for about 14 years, so I have the confidence to do it. I know where I'm angling. I don't have to look at my degrees as I'm moving my tube head or anything like that. So you will get to that confidence level. Just concentrate on starting to get these to become more muscle memory. That you don't have to think about, oh, did I put this on correctly? Do I need to flip the pole to the other side or flip the hole upside down to make everything match? That you are just starting to just try to get that muscle memory down as much as you can. The patience will always change. And something that I always like telling my students is, don't try to aim for perfection, because you are trying to take a picture of an imperfect object. Mouths, no matter what patient you get, are all imperfect. None of them are symmetrical. They all have stupid things like tori, like I drew out here, that's going to mess with things. It's going to throw off your angles. It's going to make it so that you can't get the mesials of your premolars, whatever it may be. Don't fault yourself for not being able to get it, because it might just be that person's structure. It might just be that person's structure of how they're built that's going to give everyone a problem. And of course, if you've been in the game long enough, you might be a problem solver and be able to get past tori being your blocking point. But that's just something that we just learn over time. Don't beat yourself for being higher than 20 minutes, as long as you are determined to keep on improving slowly, little by little and such like that. But x-rays are fun. I mean, they suck. I'm not saying they suck. They're fun. They suck when, especially if you are looking for people that are not, I don't want to say trustworthy, that are gonna flake on you at the last minute. That sucks. Okay, I'm starting to feel that muscle memory now. It's tough in school because you have to aim for perfection to pass. It's okay though, I'm here at 1:25 a.m. trying to learn on a live stream. Absolutely, and I can actually, well, I don't have teeth that I can probably take images of, but I do have a portable x-ray unit. I have the x-ray software. I can show you kind of different types of angles, how to aim, the different little things that we have. I have a digital sensor, and I have films, but I don't have a processor or the stuff. But shoot, it's you'll find knowledge in the weirdest places, like on a live stream at 1:25 a.m., which I'm pretty sure you were probably just trying to study, and then all of a sudden, how did this get recommended? Actually, I always like asking that for people that actually make it to the stream, is what got you over here? Because I've heard it, because before this, for this past like week and a half, I've been playing Kingdom Hearts, and that's probably what drew in some people, is like, oh, some weirdo's playing Kingdom Hearts at like near midnight for some reason, and it says dental, that's weird, I'm gonna check it out. And a lot of them stayed, and some of them left. But if I have my regulars, but it's neat to have some new people, and it's the first time for me to do something like this live, and have yourself or anyone else that's in here join. So thank you and welcome in at 1:25. I followed you for your radiograph videos at first. Oh, so you actually kind of seen, hold on, it depends. Now it depends which radiograph video. My super old ones, which are, I want to say popular, and considering my channel size and everything like that, my ones I've had for films, definitely, they work if you're still learning films. Old school-ish. I made new ones for digital sensors, for Bitewings and for FMXs. So if you needed to join and if you needed to watch those, you probably already watched them at this point. But those are kind of my fresh ones that I've done in this past month that I've uploaded recently. But oh, that's neat to see. It's neat to see a subscriber at this point. It's odd for my live streams to actually have someone that was here for the teeth and then came in for a live stream. Usually super late, and all my other people are tired at this point. I'm gonna go and bend right there. Okay. About there, so I want this to go a little bit lower. But yeah, I just like doing a lot of random stuff. I like dental labs things. I'm a dental assistant mainly, but I like dental lab duties and stuff like that. Doing this, making, I don't have any good ones. I have some really old school ones when I was practicing, but like making dentures and everything like that. This is like one of my my burner cases that I let my kids kind of like, oh, or they're helping me at the bench. My children, that they're helping me at the bench, and they're just like slapping wax all over the occlusals of these teeth. So I'm just like, oh, they'll eventually be my little learners of the bench as I keep on going. But these haven't been in someone's mouth. Don't worry. These are like practice cases back when I was first early starting. I started following on the Kingdom Hearts, however the live ones you make. Oh, the videos you make. I like to watch them because you're great. It's fun to see you. As I told you, that's why I'm here, and that's why I love having you guys stop by every now and then, like you do. Because shoot, I mean, I'd be doing this to an audience of none and still have fun with it. But if anyone can get any type of learning off of it, or like you mentioned before, you kind of listen in as you are studying for your chemistry test, that you're getting even better at clearing those exercises quicker and quicker. I'm glad to serve a purpose. Let's see, I want to kind of bend these a little bit and more, like I was mentioning. I'm always looking for specifics or niche topics that help in dental hygiene school. Your videos have popped up. Lots of overlap with dental assisting in my program. Oh yeah, definitely, especially a lot of my students that want to go to dental hygiene. I tell them, hey, you're going to learn this from me, and then you're going to learn it from your dental hygiene instructor later on. It's not that either one is wrong. It's just we all have different perspectives. So it's nice to get everyone's idea and then make a version of your own. Make your own skills up at that point. Let's see if I can get this to do what I want. And no, I don't want to do that. I want to do this. And then I'll go and do this so I can start having a handle, because I'm getting restless constantly trying to fit this on without a little handle that I can go and keep putting it on and off. That's getting there. I want to go a little bit more in from here. Honestly respect assistant teachers a lot in more some ways, especially with radiographs. Yeah, and just like you're learning, hygienists can take x-rays too. Just depends on your place that you go to, that your dentist wants you to, I don't say waste time, but focus on, a lot of doctors are going to want you to focus on doing your cleanings. Get your simple cleaning done, get your prophy done if you're responsible for that, get your SRPs, get your perio maintenances finished, get your probings. Those are all important things that help the office go along and actually make production. But I tell you, from an assistant side and everything, if a hygienist steps up and takes their own x-rays, they step up and handle sterilization and handle their instruments or help us out with in certain situations, it's super nice. And it doesn't always have to be that they came from a dental assisting background. It can just be as simple as they just care to work as a team. So it's awesome to have that. And even if you yourself, I'm not sure if you came from dental assisting or not as a background either, but it's always neat to see. It's always neat to see the wanting to learn, like you are. You have this weird little focus towards niches and dental things and everything like that. That's awesome. That's how I always felt, is just keep on learning. Keep on learning. You'll find exciting stuff in this as you go along. And dental won't let you down. And also you'll have great dental benefits off of it. Okay, I want to make that bend right there. But sometimes I always think, like, when it comes to like other instructors or even higher ups like hygienists or dentists and everything like that, how much of them are not how much, but how often are they making fun of me or my style, or oh ha ha ha, he missed this specific little example, or this small little thing they got wrong. I'm always thinking about how people that are a little bit more taller than me in the corporate ladder, what they think of what I got going on. I'm trying to be a proactive hygienist. I have no dental background, just a strong work ethic. That's awesome. That's commitment at that point. And thankfully, if you've gotten into it, and you probably got, and you actually, I don't say you probably, you've gotten accepted into hygiene school and everything like that. That saliva didn't throw you off. It didn't push you away. It didn't say, oh, yuck, teeth and everything like that. Because a lot of dental hygienists at one point, or kind of figure out like, oh, mouth's yucky, I want to go and become a nurse, because kind of similar science background and pathways just diverge into two different areas. A lot of them will become hygienists, a lot of them become nurses. So we always have jokes in the field and everything like that. And one of them is that dental assistants are, let's see, let me get this right, because I always say it wrong. What is the meme like joke at that point? Is that medical staff, so nurses, medical doctors, medical assistants are just people that failed at doing dental stuff. As if to say that dentists and dental people are superior, as a joke, but yeah, medical staff is just failed dental professionals. Mouth versus whole body. I get this. I'll take the spit. That's what I like to tell my peeps and everything. We'll focus on the head and the neck, and then I won't go anywhere lower than that. I don't need to. Head and neck, saliva, salivary glands, parotid to the Stensen's duct, submandible to the war end, Bartholin's to the sublingual. It seems like a lot, but it's not too much. I think I picked a great area to get into when I was young. I got into the game I got into this all when I was about 18, 19 or so. So it served me well, and I've never looked back to do anything else. This needs to be bent down. Yeah, and also we don't have to wipe butts. We just have to wipe plaque off of teeth. And so like at the current moment, I'm going through teaching coronal polishing, something that you probably have already dove into. I'm not sure what state you come from. You don't have to go and tell me or anything like that. But I know different states have different levels of dental assistance and what they're allowed to do. So some places, I would imagine, don't allow dental assistants to polish teeth, whereas over here, where in the state that I am, we are allowed to polish teeth if we become a registered dental assistant, the next level up. And so that's something that I'm teaching at the moment. That's fun. Everyone likes to enjoy it. They got to get patience to be able to get their certificate for it. So it's definitely a blast. And I get my teeth polished off of that every now and then too, if I feel like it. Let's see. But good to meet you live for the first time. It's always neat to see what I've been working on and the people that have actually watched it in the past or watched my stuff, to actually meet them for the first time. Even though it's through chat, it's all cool. I love it. Good. All right. Make another one here. This will be the second version I'm gonna make. Thank you for the work in the video. It's helping. Thank you. A lot of late nights to come up with stupid dental jokes that just pop up in my mind. Just dumb memes, unappropriate memes, or dental things I end up putting in there. It's just a lot of times comes to me editing videos at like 12 o'clock at night and trying to rush or get it done over many, many months and everything like that. But the most recent one that I felt proud of is my dental tooth surfaces that I just released like a couple weeks ago or something like that. Starting off teaching foundational stuff, and that one was super fun. It just took me way too long to finally just want to finish it. But it is fun. I'm not able to do things like TikToks. I have too much of a old hat brain for that at the moment, so I just do YouTube videos, and hopefully one day my kids can use my videos to teach themselves how to do what I do, or do whatever they want to do. Or maybe even my grandkids one day will be like, I want to be like Pop Pop, and I want to be a dental assistant. Oh, we'll go and watch Pop Pop's videos. They're probably still up on that weirdo channel that he made 50 years ago or something like that. So hopefully it helps people that can't go into dental school or anything like that, able to learn what they can and get into an office and do on-the-job training if they could. And so that's my whole spiel, is try to help the public as much as I possibly can while using memes and making stupid jokes. So that's my main piece out of it all. Okay, good. All right. Just about got that shape again, just as I have right there. Let's go a little bit more. Hey there. Hey, welcome back. Look at you. We are just having fun at the bench trying to get a set of vampire teeth started, which I'll probably start doing over here on my separator model. I'll make some individual ones so that the person I'm making these for can have a try-in set, and then as I go and bend this, as I go and make this to make a true appliance that kind of can take them in and out, they are going to they can try that as we go along. But let's go and do some salt and peppering like I promised from earlier, and get that going for the moment. I got this piece, I got that piece. Let me get my water going. If I do the right one here, I have a lot of things plugged in. You guys might hear some bubbling going on because I need to heat up a little bit of water for my pressure pot and everything. But yeah, let's go ahead and start working with a little bit of material. Okay. Alright, there we go. So with that, we can go and start with my canine, and let's get it a little bit wet. Like I mentioned before, we're going to be using a little bit of a salt and pepper method, where I just go and put a little bit, get it a slightly bit wet, and see if I can get it into frame. It's kind of the first time doing this part live. And I'm going to start stacking and packing a little bit right there. Get a little bit more monomer. I should get this in a nicer squeeze bottle for my liquid and everything like that. And I'll just start doing a small little layer by layer. And now that I got a nice layer, I'm going to go and bulk it up a little bit. This is going to be in shade A1, which is, of course, if you have dental knowledge, super, I don't say super bright, but definitely it is white. Absolutely, it's going to be white at that point. Now that I've kind of done this, what is that you're putting in your teeth? So on the teeth, this is methyl methacrylate. So this is essentially just tooth acrylic, kind of the same, in the same vein as that girls do for like their nails and everything like that. Just a little bit more fibers, a little bit more cross-linking that happens in this material to give it, for one, shade and to give it strength. And so now that I got a layer, a couple layers of material on this, I can go and, let's go and pop in a little bit closer, just like so. See if I can zoom in on the one thing I want to focus on, which is this piece. Now that I'm going and doing layers, as I go and put a drop of liquid on my tooth, it goes and becomes wet. And if I want to stack a little bit on top, I just add a little bit of a sprinkle of methyl methacrylate. The liquid that I have here is called monomer, so that's what I'm going to be using to go and process a lot of this acrylic. Now that I'm done with the facial portion of this tooth number 6, I'm going to go and flow over to my lingual side, and we're going to go and put a little bit of my stuff there and add a little bit of liquid. Another layer of that, add a little bit of liquid. And the main thing right here is to work fairly quickly when it comes to this, because you don't want to have it set up on you too much. But I can always go and change this later, or I can always go and alter this a little bit later when it comes to trimming it. And right now I'm kind of focusing a lot on this, so if there is anything in chat, I am unaware as far as what you guys got going on and saying. And so now that I'm done with the lingual side, the tongue side of this tooth, I'm going to go and freeze it with just powder so it doesn't move any longer. Some of it's going to fall off onto here. I'm going to focus more on the facial aspect, the front of the tooth. So I'll do a couple layers, one of each. And it's going to unfreeze some of the lingual here. Do a little bit of stacking, add another piece here, and keep on going. And my water that I have over here on the side is starting to be hot enough. So let me turn that off. Let's add some to the edge right here. All right. A little fumble right there. Okay, so with this, at the point that I have it, which is just going to be kind of a example model right here, I'm going to go and move this over to my pressure pot. I'm going to break this back a little bit. Sorry for the loud noise. And such. So I'm going to go make sure that I don't spill anything, put this off to the side, put a couple things out there. I can go bring my pressure pot over. Get a little bit of water in here. It looks dirty in there, but mainly it's just a lot of wax. Put some hot water. Doesn't need to be full or anything like that. Just needs to be able to handle. I need a little bit more there. Alright, so we got that piece. I'm gonna go and put my models together so that I have a proper bite for this character here, and nothing is out of the ordinary. I'm gonna go and put this just like so. Put this in my pressure pot. Let's go. Okay, we got that going. Put this off to the side for a little bit and pressurize. All right. Cool. All right, so we got that set finished at the moment. That's pressure potting. That's gonna do its stuff for right now. And so because I have a second model that I can go and work with and everything, I can go and bring model number 2 over, and if I am smart enough, I would actually have it in frame, as I should have now. Cool. And we can go and start working on that a little bit. With this one, mainly what I'm doing here is my wire bending, so I can get this in the way that I want to. So I need this a little bit more in on this outside. So I want the bend to be right about there. Let's go and all right. We got that. Right about there. It's right about where I want it to be. Good so far. Alright, so now I'm going to get some bends, and I'm going to do a little eyelet right there. So with that, I like how this is at the moment. Right about there or so. This is going to be my midline. That matches with this midline. Cool. And then I'm going to keep with that idea, and I'm going to make a bend right about here or so. Let's see what I can do with that. Okay. See, how do I want to go about bending this? Let's go outside. These are really not too sharp of wire cutters. I need to get myself a better set. There we go. Alright, so got myself there. It's about the spot where I want to be. I can go and bend those in a little bit at that point. Okay. Okay. Just need to bend it a little bit more towards this direction. My pressure pot's doing just fine, just cooking that first set of teeth. And once they come out, I'll start to shave them, give them some anatomy and everything like that. And maybe I'll go and get them polished also. We'll see where I can get to on that end as we go along. I want to close this little eyelet here. Beautiful. That's better. That's what I wanted to do. That should sit right about there. Cool. I'll go and turn this in. I don't want to use this. I want to use another one here that I have. Where's my stuff? Stuff and things and stuff. A special one that I'm going to use. Not that one. And there it is. Some contouring pliers would be nice for this. Alright, cool. I just want to go and persuade this to go over here. And the persuasion is working. Okay, cool. So I got my right side kind of set for this. My left side I'm gonna have to do very similar bends as I did here. So let's go ahead and try to mark what we got, such as, this one's not gonna be as easy to do. Probably about there or so. Yeah. I need to get a spot for this Sharpie. Since I'm going to be using it and grabbing at it so often, I need to make a little perch that I can just kind of pop it in, pop it out, and just, that's where it'll stay. Alright, so I got my pieces here. I don't need that too much. I'll use these contouring pliers as I go. Two-pronged, and where'd my tweeds at? Oh, I have my tweeds. Okay. Let's see, how do I want to attack this? I want to go at it from right about there. And this is where it's going to get tough, because now I'm going to lose my little handle here. Once I give this a bend, I'm going to lose that, and I'm going to have to go and hold it by either this little piece over here, this little eyelet that I made, or it's just going to be slipping out of my fingers a lot more often now that I got to this point. But such is the life. Alright, so let's go ahead and give that a nice little bend. Alright, so we got a loop-de-loop made. Got to cut this piece off and say potentially bye-bye to my handle. Here's my wire cutters. Let's go and say adios in a moment. Let's go do it right about there. I need to go deeper. That's what I need to. I need to be inside this. Alright. A lot of times when I'm going to go and snip, I go and hold it with my paper towel or something like that so it doesn't go and fly. And also kind of absorbs the shock wave after it finally cuts through the wire. And I'll have a bunch of wires on my floor because I can just catch them right here in my little piece. Hey, someone subscribed. Nice to see if they are here or not. Thanks. Might not try to say the name, but thanks, Lee. You're the real one. You're one of the real ones. Let's see if I can get this cut real quick. There we go. Put that off to the side. Alright, now I got something that I can work with. Let me go and close this up a little bit more. Okay. Now, as I put it here, which is looking decent, I need to make sure that this little piece right here, as I zoom in and try to focus on it, I need to make sure that this little nugget, let's see, that I have is not off of the tooth, and that it's actually rising and laying flat on the lingual side of this canine so that it's not sticking up so much. So I need to go and bend this in or contour it in a little bit, and I'm going to use my pliers that I had a moment ago with it. Let's see if I can stay in frame as I do this. I guess I have to come out a little bit more. Cool. Alright, so we got that going on. I can probably roll it a little bit more. I might want to go and roll that in a slight bit more. Let's use that. I do believe my teeth that I have in the pressure pot are just about done. I can probably pull them out, which I'm going to do here in a second, and we'll give them a looky-loo, see where we're at while I'm doing this little bit here. I want this to lay a little bit more down from that point. work with me. All right, cool. Let's let this be for right now. Let me go pull my pressure pot here and see what we have as far as teeth. You might hear a loud hiss for a moment. I'm gonna try to slow it down with this little towel that I have. Okay, got that going. Let's see what we got up in the pressure pot. Oof, that's hot. That water's hot. Put that over there for now. And if I can put this off to the side for a moment, bring our attention to what we have. And right now, we got just a rough idea of what we're trying to attain. Now, right now, they may be super, well, for one, the models are freaking hot. And when I got them together, or when I put them together before I put it in the pressure pot, I went and occluded them, made it so that they bit down in a relatively close enough form as to the person that has it. And so now what I gotta do is I need to try to get these sucker fishes off without breaking the cast. But if I break the cast, I have my other working model over here. And if I do get them off successfully, which hopefully I can, I'm going to trim them up a little bit, give it to the person and see, hey, do you like the length? Do you like the, pretty much a try-in set. And from there I can go ahead and move along with making the appliance that has it as an attachable, as a removable piece in the end. Put some of those little bits off to the side. And I can go and start working on that here in a second. So let's see if I can get these off. This one's gonna be one of the little tougher things that I'm gonna probably do. I can go put this lower cast, this mandible, off to the side for now, and we can kind of focus on here. And you can even see as I went and did had it occlude, you can see the indentations on the lingual where the mandible goes and meets up into the maxillary. And so with that, I have little spots, so I know that if the patient was to bite on this, they would not, they'd kind of have like a set place to go to. So let's see what we got here. Let's back that up. Let's go and get one of my little instrument tools that I have. This one has a lot of wax on it, so I'm gonna go and kind of heat them up and get that wax off of this induction heater that's right here. And I want to get another instrument here that I tend to like a little bit more, which has more of a blunt tip to it. Nah, I'll just use this one for now. Not too bad. Alright. Let's try to get off what we can. A lot of it's going to have little lift points that I'm going to try to utilize to get this off. And I think we might be in pretty good luck so far, as I go and try to gentilely get this up. And this also helps because I did a layer of separator at the beginning, which makes movie magic. So we got one. Woohoo. Let me get some F's in the chat if you're actually here. But now let's do the other one. Of course, we can't have one without the other. And this is, and by the laws of the world and the universe, I have to probably break this one. It's just it's just how it is. And so let's see if we can go and get this off. Let's find a purchase point. X in the chat, good job. X for doubt. Okay, good. So we have some lift on the facial. I'm gonna come around. Oh, there we go. All right, and my model hasn't taken too much damage. That is not a lot of damage, as Phil Swift would put it, and we got a good thing going on here. I can use this again later to do another set. I see a couple other of my little pieces in this that are still in place. Now I'm going to try to clean out a little bit at the moment without harming my model too much. But I think we are in decent hands. Let me get a toothbrush real quick. Get this cleaned off. And just for the sake of, I know I'm going to be going and probably working back on this model later on, I'm going to go put another layer of separator on this so that I don't forget for the next time that I'm coming here. And so, got a little separator that I can go and use here. Put another layer over the top. Anywhere that I applied monomer to, I'm going to want that layer separator to go and create that barrier again. So there's no open areas that I can go and potentially have a mess up, a slip up on or anything. And so that I don't accidentally lit this pool on my model, I'm going to go and do a quick little air burst. Psst, psst. Oh, do I not have air? What do I not have? Why is this not working? Oh, it's because it's attached to my other piece. Okay, I know what to do. Alright, so you might hear a little hiss sound in a moment, just trading over my units. Alright, and with that, now I can okay, so now my separator is kind of thinned out a little bit, dried. I don't need this working model anymore at the moment, so I'm just going to go and put it and its mate over here to the side for next time that I'm going to go do something on there. I'm going to go and focus more on these resemblances of teeth, and I can go and start trying to whittle out something from what I have here. With these objects, I'm going to need the help of a slow speed handpiece or a laboratory handpiece, and this is going to have certain types of burrs on here with different sizes, like these ones are pear shaped and such, so I can go and do some of my adjustments and trimmings and everything like that. So with that, I can go and get my foot pedal, see if I got spin on there. It does spin. And this is one of those things where it's like, oh man, I hate the sound of the dentist and everything like that. This is going to probably cringe, make you cringe or everything as so. Let me get a couple of other pieces here that I'll want. I'll get this one and maybe a polishing wheel or a little bristle wheel and everything like that. And let's see what I got. All right. So I can see my margins on the inside of this tooth. Let me see if I get some focus. 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 You're tracking on the camera. It's just a really hard thing to focus on because of all this background noise that's over here. I'm trying to get some, I need to go and figure out the outline of the inside of this crown and start chopping it up a little bit off on the sides. And so it creates a lot of dust when it comes to this. The eye protection is always an important thing so that you don't get any crap in your eye. So let me go and pop these on. And off to the races. Go back up a little bit. There we go. And what I'm doing is I'm looking and identifying my margins, and I am flowing with them as I'm cutting at it. Alright, good. Get a lot of this dust off of me. I need to get my little dental vacuum over here to catch a lot of this hate from the attempt I'm making here. Okay. Let's go and feather the edge, feather the margins down a little bit. Alright. We can go and pick up our working model here that I'm making this out for, and we can start putting it on. And it's still going to look heavy on a lot of areas, but let's see which one this belongs to. This one belongs to tooth number 11, if I can get that right. Yep, that's going to belong on tooth number 11. And right now, it looks all super stupid because it's super bulky. I'm going to have to go and thin it out, contour it, make sure it actually looks like a tooth, give it an edge and everything right now. At least it has a sharp point to it, but we'll keep on building and getting that going as we go on. Let's go move over to this one, get the bulk majority off of this tooth, just like we did with this one a moment ago. And so let's go and I can have this guy set just like so. To adjust. There we go. That makes it a little bit easier. Okay, that's about the margin I see right there. This is the neighboring tooth. Got a little flyaway right there. Okay, so we got something going on here. Okay. All right, so we got tooth nuggets. And so at that point, we can work with tooth nuggets and we can start shaping and contouring. I need a pencil. Do I have a pencil in my bag? I think I do have a pencil in my bag. So let me go pick up a pencil real quick. We'll get back to this. I'm gonna make some marks over here so I can start contouring and everything like that. I'd like this to be able to sit up and down, but I don't wanna make a bunch of dust just yet. Let me go, be right back. All right, right back at it again. And I got donated from someone a nice little Sharpie holder. This is actually going to be pretty good, and I'll probably actually do a suck down on this so I can make a mold, so I can make my own version that's kind of more custom to how I want to use it and everything. So this is actually going to be pretty neat for my little uses for Sharpies and everything like that. But see, I got this. I want to go and make some defining cuts here. Okay. Okay. Let's go and let's start on this one. I'm not liking this one too much, but I can always add more material to this to get it to look and be like how I want. So let's go and trim this down a little bit more. Put some of these over here. The sucky thing about doing all this is I am not an artist. I actually super blow at artistic things. And so this is just not my forte, but because it is tooth related, it's just one of those things that I can do it enough to make it look similar to a tooth. It'll look like a tooth, but it probably wouldn't be the tooth that you would want to wear yourself. And so that's where we're always trying to get better. Alright, that all brushed off and stuff. Let's go get this on right mirror. Okay, so we got something going on. We got sharpness, it's just bulky and everything like that. So I'm gonna go and trim it down a little bit more on the facial that's over here because it just sticks out a little bit too much. You'll kind of have a fatter lip if you were to hold this, or if you were to have this in there. But it's got that sharp factor that I want. Just as you guys can kind of see here, usually in that aspect. I have a bad light here. I need to get better lighting. That's what I need to do. This is getting there. I just need to bring it down a little bit. Okay, that's where I want to, that's how much I want to go at it. Okay, let's go in. That's a little bit better. That's getting there. I can make it a little bit thinner. I don't want to risk making it so thin that it would risk breaking if that patient put it on wrong. And so at that point, I'll probably stop cutting it on the facial a little bit too much. Lingual looks like it's doing decent. I'll check it with occlusion in not too long. But let me go, and what I want to start working on is contour of the actual tooth where it bends over here on the side, because right now it's just too fat as far as it sticking up and everything like that. Let's see if I can get some focus on here. Yeah, there we go. So I don't want it to be super wide where it looks like all stupid. So I'm gonna go and make some minor adjustments on this. Right in, let me see if I can focus on the area that I'm doing. I'm gonna go and tooth it up a little bit, just like so. Let's see, can I focus? Yeah, I'm gonna tooth it up a little bit, just like so, if it allows me to. Get a little bit of contour there, bring this down a little bit so I can get a sharper point to the tooth, and then bend it back in over here. And I think that's where I'm going to like it if I keep on working on it a little bit more. So, let's see what we got from here. Oh. Okay. And sadly, once you take it away, you're not going to get it back, but you can potentially add it back later once you kind of get it in there. And especially with this stuff, which is this powder liquid acrylic, you can add it back, just kind of like how you can do it snap. But this one, let's see what we can do. I'm going to add a little bit of bend right there. Oh, okay, so now we have, oh, that's backwards. All right, so now we got a sharper point. That's looking a little bit better. I want it, it's a little bit too, it's doing something weird right now. From your guys' angle, it doesn't look too bad as far as I got the sharpness and everything. I want it to be a little bit less dull at the edge, which I'm noticing as I kind of have it on the side. But I'll come back to this in a little bit, and I'm gonna go and switch around and move over to this hunk of trash. And so let's go ahead and do that one here a little bit. Try to do some contouring, some buckle changes as we have here. Right now it's pretty much not too much trimmed. But let's see if I can get that to change up as we go. So flatten it out a little bit on the facials. So it's got more of that flat front tooth look to it. Get this have a little bit of a sway to the palate as far as the cusp of this canine. Let's hunker down on the lingual a little bit. But welcome all that are viewing. I know there's like a couple of you and everything like that. If you have any dental questions apart from kind of what I'm doing, vampire teeth, as you can see from the description. But if you have any dental questions about kind of anything, let me know. If you're here for other things, then just let me know also. But thank you for being around. Thank you for sticking here with us. Okay, let's put that back on. Let's go and put this one on a little bit. Let's go make some notations on what I want to change with this. It's a little bit too fat on this side. I'm going to go and cut it down a little bit. I'm bringing it in. This one kind of has a weird little sway to the incisal edge, or to the embrasure space. Let me see if I can go and come a little bit closer. See if I can get in focus. 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 It's not going to really play ball with me. There we go. We're almost at it. Sorry if this is messing with your vision. Let's go ahead and pull this in a little bit more. Let's go in. I don't really need to thin it out too much. Probably just right about there or so. On the lingual, it's looking fine. As I go and trim this part out a little bit, the lingual aspect is going to fix itself in this region. And then this one kind of also fix itself. It will check itself before it gets itself wrecked. And I think I might be in good hands right there. Alright, so let's go back to a little bit more trimming. Oh, that's true. Yep, that makes sense. And it might just be this background does not help at all, which I really don't need right now, but it's what it is. Every now and then I just have to tap on my camera to say, hey, focus on my palms. Okay, maybe, oh, that caught it, that's fine. Of course, that's when I wanted to go and move something else and I dropped it. Okay. Okay, almost there. Let's see where the margin of my tooth is. Okay. All right, let's go ahead and put it in occlusion with the lower cast, as it should be, just like so. And we can go and kind of make a look and see what this person's going to kind of be anticipating of them looking. So right now we can identify that it's going right about down to right between the teeth of tooth number 27 and 28, which is actually a pretty good space for it to go and fall into. There's nothing really going on there. So that's awesome. It's not going to be obstructing or anything like that. They might lock it down a little bit as they go. Going over here to the patient's left side on tooth number 11 that we see here, I can still clean it up a little bit, get it a little bit sharper, no problem. It is, as the other side is doing, falling right between the space of tooth number 22 and tooth number 21. And so that works out pretty nice. I can go and look at the underside a little bit and see that I do still have a little bit of space. They're not being obstructed when they are biting down, so that's also good to know that they can probably just go and still rock their teeth a little bit side to side without too much issues at the moment. Yeah, that's not too bad. And so main thing I need to do is equalize. So what I need to do here then is I need to equalize how low it is dropping, so we don't have uneven vampire teeth where we know that that vampire has to go through an orthodontist to get the braces to make sure that their vampire teeth line up. So let's try and see, make sure that I am at proper droopage for the tooth, which right now this lines up right about here and this lines up right about there or so. And so if I can go and take something to help me visualize. It's fairly close. The main thing I don't like about them so far at the moment, that I can still change, is how far out this is sticking out. This one right here flares out a little bit more than the one over here on this side. This one kind of has a tight bite to it over here on patient's right. On patient's left over here, it has a bite and everything, but the issue that I can see causing, especially if their lips pull in a little bit more towards their teeth, that because this kind of flares out and sticks out a little bit, that's going to leave an indentation in their lip. Might look cool, but I want to make sure it doesn't kind of mess with the patient too much. So I either might go and add more acrylic just to the lingual side so that it can attach itself to this, or something along that line. I might do that, which means I do have separator on this. That's not that much of a big deal. This I can trim down a little bit more to make it just a little bit sharper. I kind of like how this is coming out so far. This one is a little bit bulky. I want to get this cleaned up a little bit more before I start adding more acrylic. And I also want to see how much room I actually have on the inside. How much space do I have, or how thick it is something I want to go and look at. So with that, I have this green little light here that I can kind of just see and peek through and see how much acrylic I still have left I can go and trim into. Doesn't seem like too much. I might be having to work with what I got here, but let's see. Alright, and it also looks like I have a small little hole over here on the lingual, so that is also indicative that I need to go and patch that up a little bit, which will be just fine. So in this case, what I want to do is I actually want to make it a little bit more rough on the lingual side so that I can attach to it and have some bonding spots. And also I can go and pull that in a little bit more as I have them bite here. Cool. Pull this in a little bit more, especially since I'm going to add some more to the lingual. Okay. Alright, let's do this then. So, I got this. Where's my monomer? I got my monomer here. I'll add some acrylic. I have some separator on this already. I'm just going to put a small little skim of trusty old white petroleum jelly. Just so that I don't have it accidentally bond or break off my lower model. Even though I'm not trying to make any teeth for the lower model, I'll just do it like so. I'm gonna go keep it. I'm gonna keep it occluded just as I have right here so far, and then let's go and add some acrylic. Let's get this wet. Okay, And since I have this in occlusion at the moment, this is going to be probably where I want it to be set. Add a little bit here so it freezes. Turn it inside out. I'll add some to the lingual of where I'm adding this to, just in case there's some missing spots or areas over here on the lingual. And I'm going to go put this into my pressure pot, which actually I need to go and reset what hookups I have so I can go and pressurize my pressure pot. And then let's go and add, or let's go and turn on my compressor. And let's go back out a little bit. And drop these bad boys in the pressure pot. That water is still pretty warm. Cool. And while that is doing its job, we will go back to wire bending a little bit and get some of those things done. All right, cool. Nope. Let's go ahead and put my switch. Cool. Unlatch. Hook that up. Turn the compressor back off. I don't need that for it now. Alright, let's get back to this. I don't need monomer anymore. I don't need my acrylic until later if I do need it. Let's go and clean up a little bit what I have going on here. Even though I know I'm just going to get it ruined here in a second when I come back and trim that up a little bit more. And I'll just go and shake this off here real quick. Try to keep it as clean as possible. Alright, and I still got my Toray drawing on here, which is also a good piece. Alright, back to wire bending, contouring pliers, 3-prong, tweeds, wire cutters, and we'll keep this off to the side. And that'll be for later. Cool. I'm gonna get my prop. Alright, so I'll turn that one in a little bit. How do I want to do this? Let's keep going. Okay. Oh yeah, I guess it really didn't help that the stream is also like super silent all the time too. I just don't know what if I can play music and not get hit super hard for it. So it kind of is what it is. I know I'm usually playing Kingdom Hearts, so we kind of have the background music and me being hit all the time and dying around every single map corner and everything like that. But this is a little bit of a different subject here. Cool, it's not bad. I just want to get this last part bent in a little bit. You don't monetize, you can play music, I think. Well, I am not monetizing these streams as far as I am anticipating so far, and I think it works better because if I monetize, then it put ads in it, and I feel like if I was trying to watch a stream and I had ads just kind of like blaring in out of nowhere, I would just leave it. So I think if I just do this and I just start, if I just continue as I am, I'll just be fine. I'll just get cool cats coming in here. But I guess that might be the benefits to probably like Twitch or something like that, because who knows? I don't know if they have different regulations on their sides or anything. So everyone talking much, I'm paying attention, but don't want to say too much to interrupt your class. Hey, you're all good. I know you're studying as you should be doing. You need to you got to pay attention to more important things than dental things and everything like that. So you keep doing you. I know you're still around. You don't worry. Oh, that's what I need to do. I need to drink water. It's a new world for me. Even if it's something simple. It is something simple. That's the fun thing about it, is that it's just that. It's just it's just smaller versions of commonly used different jewelers tools, and mechanics tools to be able to make something that fits on the mouth. One day, hopefully, hopefully one day I can get the proper equipment to smelt metal and be able to make metal appliances, which is a fancy way of saying grills. So I know that's kind of popular and everything, as much as it's pretty bad for your oral cavity and its health, but that's what the public wants. But they have play royalty-free music that could work. The main royalty-free music that I can think of is Internet Historian's royalty-free jazzy saxophone mix that's like 30 or 45 minutes long. And I am super down to do that. I just don't know how to do that properly. I have the music. We'll see. We'll see. It could work, right? It might be too jazzy for this situation. But, and the thing is also, I want to make sure I have control of it, which I guess if I stream it and make it invisible, and then just make sure I push down the decibels on it so it's kind of low in the background, and I can control what part of the songs I could be at. I'm going to have to kind of try that out. I'm going to have to try that out and practice with that off stream to see if I can get it to work where it's acceptable, and such and so on and everything like that. Alright, so I want to bend that in a little bit more. Where's my piece here? I'll be honest, I got a little lost. I mean, there's the part about teeth 7 and 6, but I think I got lost with the wire. That was the purpose of being the size of the... what was the purpose of it being the size of the denture? With the wire, it's just to help for retention. That's all its main thing is, just to help that It helped the additive or the added acrylic to stay in its place, and that if someone was to pull it off, they can just go and pull it off and put it somewhere and it's all one piece. It's like, no, I lost the right tooth and I only have the left tooth, so I'm going to be half vampire, half werewolf or whatever. So it's just a visible appliance. If you were to accidentally like knock it off the dresser and it falls on the floor, hopefully it'd be visible enough that you can just go over there and grab it. That's the main reason I'm just putting it in acrylic. So right now I have this going on, and this is fine, kind of where I want it. I want to test out to see how it bites down. So with that, I would like to put wax on here to hold it in place, and then I'll have the teeth bite down in place to I'll have the teeth bite down in place and see if it's in the proper alignment. So I'm going to need my waxing tools or instruments, and I don't need it to be this big. I'll do it, yeah, sure. I'll do that. Okay, so now I got my tool smoking hot, and I have some wax over here that I can use to go and assist me in holding this where I want it to be. So get that. I'm gonna go and melt a little bit of wax, some hot wax that we can go and use. I'm gonna go and just pour it right on a specific spot, and I'm gonna let it cool. And once it cools down a little bit, then I'll be able to look at it and watch it on my model without having to hold it in there with my hands, just like I have here. So now I got a nice frozen wire that I can kind of make, that I can look at, make some adjustments to, make some plans with. And so that's what I want to do for right now, just to kind of freeze it in place. And also, if I put this off to the side and one of my kids comes and messes with my workbench, that they probably won't knock this off too easy. But because it's pink and they're girls, they're probably going to pick this off pretty easy. But we'll see. We'll see. I don't really need this too much. I know my what's it called? My pressure pot teeth are done. So vampiric teeth, here we come. Let me go get that back over here. All right. Good. Ew, it's almost 12 o'clock, and tomorrow's Friday, which I love that it is Friday. That is going to be sweet. We got our teeth back in here. I froze this in place so I can go and just throw it over to the side and my wire still stays in place, which is the whole purpose of it all. We can go back and focus on these sets of teeth, which I had to adjust my canine tooth because it was flared out a little bit too much. And so now, with me adding a little bit more acrylic to the tongue side of it, I can go ahead and take it apart. So I don't need my lower working model at all. Put that off to the side. Don't need my waxing tool anymore. I can go and put this over here. I can put this down. And we are going to pick this off. Which should be pretty easy. Because remember earlier I reapplied the separator. Now we got this. Go wipe this off. Take off all the excess acrylic or excess powder that's on here. Not too bad. Good. Let's go and give this a little brush. Get some of that acrylic out of there. me see, I got a Discord message. Question about the false denture. This material is used. Okay. A question about false dentures. This material is used is not another. Like in the example that I have a denture here at my bench and everything like that, I have a couple of different play around options that I've worked on and everything like that. Here's an example one. I think this is of my teeth. I went and took an impression of my mouth. Now this specific wax up that I've done also for one is just super, just not processed. It's still made of wax. It's not made of acrylic yet. I went and took an impression of my mouth, poured it up, and I knocked out a couple of the teeth on this model. And so that I can go and try to match my height, my droop, fix up my, my twist. And so you can see also in certain areas that I have waxed up some clasps or some wraparound retention clips that hang on to the neighboring teeth, just like I have in this situation where I have this molar replaced in this fake denture that I'm making for myself. And it has all the same type of things. It has a U-shaped type of look. It has teeth that are replacing a couple of the front ones, one premolar on one side, the molar on the other side. So this is just a wax up so far. Still has some ways to go. I have some processed full dentures here that are not for patients. They're mainly for practice purposes, where I have these training models or training models that I can go and set up in wax, set up in teeth, try them in, and then complete them in acrylic, because that's what a lot of them are going to be made out of, is acrylic when it comes to full dentures like this. Now, like I mentioned earlier, with full dentures and everything like that, like I mentioned earlier, this is one of my just kind of like bummer dentures that I kind of just practice with a certain material just to make out of nowhere. And a lot of times when I'm sitting at the bench, I have sometimes I'll have my kids just come and see like, oh, Dad's doing something, so I'm gonna go do the same thing as them, so, or as he is. So they just go and grab some wax and they just go and pile it onto this. So it just has a bunch of loose wax just everywhere. And this is also kind of a real dumb one that I kind of made, because I just made the walls or the flanges really tall with like no anatomy, so it's just flat all the way around with very little anatomy as far as it is. It's just a really badly anatomized, badly characterized denture. So this is just kind of a play around one that I just kind of shoo over to my girls whenever that comes along. But this is made out of acrylic. I think if I remember right, looking at this, and these don't never touch a patient's mouth, this just touch my practice models. This is a heat cured acrylic. It still uses denture acrylic fibers, that's tinted pink and everything, and I'm still using methyl methacrylate monomer to go and mix it together to become this. But this is a heat cured version where I have to go and mix it, put it in a little jig, push it together, compress it, and then boil it, or essentially cook it for a long period of time. That's what we have to do with this one. I have another one here, if I can see where it's at. I kind of have this pan of different teeth that I've kind of practiced with and made over the time. Let's see. Oh yeah, here's another one. This is kind of another early on denture, partial denture, that replaces a couple teeth on one side, so 1, 2, 3, and it replaces one tooth on the other side. This one was a learning. This is one that I was using for learning the material that I had, learning the setup that I have, learning how to melt it and inject, because these are injectable. The main difference that's between these two is that this is made of hard acrylic. If I could go and throw these at the ground and everything, it might crack. It might crack, it might fracture, and that happens sometimes. Oh, hey, baby. Oh, the little one woke up. And the difference with this one is that this one is called a flexible partial or a flexi partial or is a nylon made partial. So instead of it being made of acrylic that's hard, I can go and actually give this a bend, and it has some twist and some memory, some flexural memory to it. And so if I go and give this a little bend here and there, not granted that I'm not just going and just trying to just break it in half. This is what typically will work for people that are missing a few teeth, not a lot. They make partial dentures, which replace some teeth, one or more teeth, but not all. And they'll have a metal framework, a metal base that they'll build the acrylic, like this hard one, on top of, and that's a very standard one for people that want really, really, I want to say stable, but really durable and repairable denture. Where this one, a bad thing about this one, that's really difficult to repair these. Once these have been set and made for that person's mouth, you really can't add a tooth to this. You can take it and it'll kind of look funny, but you can't really add more nylon-based injectable acrylic. You really can't add a tooth without it being a little bit harder than it normally is. So you usually have to start off with a new impression, new model, new wax up, new everything when it comes to flexible partials. But they are nice. They are a little bit more realistic because they're made of majority pink flexes. It clicks on if the person makes it right with the correct clasp system and everything. So this is a nice style of doing it too, along with just regular full denture acrylics that we have. But I want to go back to this guy and see what I need to trim. I want to leave this open here. Ooh, it is 12 o'clock. You're too funny, I swear. You are too funny. Don't focus on dental. You have greener pastures to go on to as far as that. You're gonna have this weird little conversation at the water cooler where you're like, oh, did you know that dentures come in nylon fibers or acrylic and they're made of blah blah blah? Oh, where'd you learn that? Oh, some weirdo on the live stream back like a couple years ago or something. You need to focus on your engineering. That's where you're gonna be great at. Alright, let's see. Oh, that's what I was about to do. Got sent over something that I can put in the background from you. Let me see. Sure, let's visit this website. And I'm pretty sure I can do this in a easy way. Maybe that might work. Hopefully it's not too loud. You guys let me know if it's too loud. Or if it's loud enough for the background music, if it's truly working or anything at all. So that everyone doesn't have to get all creeped out by the drill noise. Okay. Alright, so it's a little bit fat on the facial, so I'm going to go and pull it back just a hair over on this distal aspect. A very common thing is to have these things just get shot out of your hands when you're trimming them. Oh man, that's a fanger right there. That one's ready for a night on the town. They have different lengths now. I kind of feeling it how low this one's going. I'm going to read this brochure. I'm waiting for the concert. No, but it's nice. The music is quiet. Oh, that's good. But I need to see which one looks decent. So we kind of have an option here, and the lighting is really crap. So work with me. Oh, I actually have a camera. Or I have my phone here. I can throw the torch on. Light. All right, cool. So we have two options. I'm gonna present both of them to them, but I want to see what you guys think as far as anything. With right here, we either have the short and subtle. It's like, hey, I'm pointy, I'm here, get used to it. Or we got the deep bite. Like, hey, I'm not just breaking skin, I'm reaching the bone. And so we kind of have these two versions. I kind of like how deep and fangy this one is. That's so sharp. But this one, maybe it's subtle and it works. Definitely a different taste on both sides. I'm probably gonna present this to the. Probably gonna present this to the dude that I'm making it for, and I'll see which one they prefer. I kind of like the. Hold on. Where am I looking at? Kind of like this one more though, as far as anything. So not too shabby. Let me see. Someone messaged me. Who wants to know? Oh, that thing? Okay. Cool. Well, this on the left. On the left is more like a cover on the tooth, and you can hardly notice the one on the left, which is a tooth that you made. That is true. That is true. I do kind of like the subtlety of this one, where it's not too. It doesn't stick out too much. It's like it's not too bad. Kind of like what I got going on here. It might, if depending if I have it biting down all the way, which is pretty much what I have. If I can clean this up a little bit, give it a little bit of smoothness, I should be fine to present tomorrow when I see them again. Let's go and switch over to my brushes. Is it okay, Draco's teeth. By the way, is it natural that those teeth look like fangs, like the tooth on the left? It is natural. Yeah, for the most part, it is natural. Some people have more. Some people have more pointer ones than others. I know my right side canine, my fang tooth, is a lot more pointier than my left side. No clue why, but that's just kind of the name of the game. And some people have very subtle things, and some people have very obvious ones. Just kind of the luck of the draw, the luck of the Irish. But these, what we have are this little shorty one right here is pretty standard for people. Like this patient right here doesn't really have this patient right here does not really have too pointy of their canines, so it's their preference that they want their canine tooth right here to just jut out a little bit. And so they've been asking me for a while, and they're like, hey, can you do it? I'm like, of course I can do it. Can you get in my chair so I can take your impression one of these days? And we finally got to the point where we were able to do it. And I was like, okay, cool, bet. I'm gonna make you what you want. I'm gonna get this going. I'm gonna get my homie on the live streams here to give me some advice on them. And here's where we are. You're the homie. But I'm not seeing any of my other people. I haven't seen too much of my other people. I haven't seen Yuri. I haven't seen Flu. We had a couple people that came in from earlier. That was pretty cool. A couple people, a subscriber. That was a neat one. That was a first time one for me. Prior to streaming Kingdom Hearts subscriber that's watched some of my videos. I was like, oh, ain't that fancy. Man, I'm really liking how this is coming out. As far as how deep this bite is. Probably needs to just, okay, I'm gonna pull it back a little bit. That's what I'm gonna do. Pull it back right there. Okay, let's get that. Let's go and polish this up a little bit more. I'm sure I can watch your videos to understand this topic. It's just a matter of not being busy with that. Yeah, I totally see that. I'm totally understanding of that. You don't need to be a dental watcher. You've been here since pretty much my beginning of live streaming and everything like that. So I'm appreciative of the company. If you never even watched a video of mine beforehand and never plan to, totally understand. It's not for everyone. It's not meant to be for everyone. But I think I got what I want here today that I'm going to show off for tomorrow for my peeps. And so I'll probably leave it at this. When I get to work tomorrow, I'll probably polish it up a little bit more. I want to see what they have in mind as far as what we got here. But end result, fangier definitely sticks out a little bit more, or I should say a lot more than the subtlety one. And then I'll just kind of make a choice between whatever they pick in the end. Listen to them for a long and yeah, I didn't notice the difference anymore. Yeah, it's not too much of a change now, especially from a distance, where it doesn't look like doesn't look too much different. But this is kind of what I wanted to go to. I remember I was freezing this. I still have my wire bend, and the whole goal is once I know what size that this patient wants their stuff, then I'm going to essentially attach these teeth and whatever length I want it to this wire, and then I'll put a little bit of acrylic. I'll put some acrylic here that is going to hold it all a little bit better than it just floating on the wire, or it just being a single tooth that they can put in at whatever time. So this is not too bad. I think I'm gonna bring this to a stopping spot. We'll keep this where it's at, and we'll move on from there. We'll get some water. It is 12:14. I should be kicking it off for the night, but let me see where I can finish off on. Yeah. And so now, yeah, kind of like how I was saying with that, if I go and remove these, they won't fit directly on this model just yet. But if I was to go and transfer one of these teeth to here, and if I can get into, if I can get focused, that tooth is going to slip on just as so, and it's not going to hold on because it's just a little bit too high. I'll go on just like that. This one's going to go on just like that. Expect it to fall off right now because I just need to make room for it to slip onto. Just like so. And with them on there, and if I can get them in the correct place, now they'll have something to hold. I'll add some acrylic to it, and then they'll just be a one-piece appliance. Just as I have. Someone doesn't know the subject, and above all, who doesn't understand English, and I still understand you. Thank you for that. Sometimes, after a day's work of just trying to explain anything to students, especially if they're brand new, to hear something like that is encouraging. Definitely makes me feel better that it definitely makes me feel better that I have hopefully clarity in what I'm trying to teach without it being too without me trying to make it, I don't know. Sometimes it's hard. Sometimes it's hard to see if you're actually good at this. Sometimes it's hard to know if what you're trying to do, trying to teach someone, like you're saying, a random subject, no previous background history of it, if it comes out of my mouth, if it's actually understandable. And so I'm glad to hear that, especially because I don't usually get to hear that from anyone too much. And so if I can get a random stranger on the internet to kind of give me some many kudos like that, some good words, I can fall asleep at night a little bit better. So thank you for that. But what I will do for right now is I am going to call it quits. I need to get some sleep. We'll probably play some Kingdom Hearts tomorrow or something like that. Put this guy to use over here. I am going to be live streaming tomorrow a little bit more in the middle of the day. So that's mainly going to be kind of like this, where it is mainly dental related, but it won't be vampire teeth. But I might be doing this on the side, if anything. I mean, it makes me feel a little bad not fully understand you. Why are you seriously trying so hard? And so I am to understand. Thanks for learning to say. No, yeah, thank you for sticking around. Sometimes when I see my students and it seems like they're falling asleep or something, I think it's just the tone of my voice sometimes is can put people to sleep. And so it's nice to be able to talk to you. And that you're always responding to me. You don't have to be super active or anything like that. You keep me company here. You are a good person, and you are bettering yourself by using my background music or using me as a background noise to study, which makes me feel good about that. Which makes me feel good about things. But yes, I will see you tomorrow. Maybe we'll be like another somewhat class like this, or maybe we'll just be chilling out and you will almost be teaching me about fusion melding or command boards or mix Pyro Plus with Pyro Plus with Strength Crystal, and I can get something good. So you and me are in this for the long haul. But I will see y'all tomorrow, and we will go from there. So take it easy.